Our relationship with technology, it tells a story. And depending on when you were born, that story is totally different. I mean, think about it. How did we get from one single TV uniting the whole family to a supercomputer in every single pocket that creates a unique world just for us? It's a wild ride. So, let's trace that journey.
Okay, I want you to do something for me, just for a second. Go back in time. What's that first piece of technology you remember that just felt like pure magic? You know what I'm talking about.
For a lot of people, it was this thing, a massive wooden TV set, this beast of a thing that basically took over the entire living room. It wasn't just a screen, right? It was like this digital fireplace that the whole family would gather around to share something together. But for others, it was something way more personal. It was that satisfying click of a cassette tape sliding into a Walkman. And just like that, you could create your own private bubble of sound, right? A personal soundtrack that went with you everywhere, coloring your whole world with music. And then, of course, for a whole other generation, it was this sound, that iconic dial-up modem screech. That digital handshake wasn't just a bunch of noise. It was the sound of a door swinging open, the sound of your little computer connecting to this massive global network for the very first time. Every single one of these moments, it was a revolution. Okay, so let's start at the beginning with the baby boomers. We're talking the 1950s and 60s, and all of a sudden these incredible gadgets like the color TV start showing up. Can you even imagine seeing the world broadcast in these vibrant colors for the very first time, right there in your own living room? It must have felt like absolute magic. And that's really the heart of this first big shift. Tech wasn't just for hobbyists in a garage anymore. It literally invaded the home, and it turned into something way more profound. It was almost like a new member of the family. I mean, these early TVs were literal beasts, okay? Some of them weighed over 100 pounds. But they were so much more than just a box for entertainment. They were like these national campfires. This is where families watched history happen together. Things like the moon landing. Everybody saw the exact same thing at the exact same time, a truly shared experience. But this magic, it came with a pretty steep price tag. Owning one of these early color TVs was a huge status symbol. It was a total luxury item. We're talking the equivalent of buying a small car today. So yeah, access was definitely not universal at first. But just look at how fast things changed. This chart shows you the unbelievable speed of adoption. So in the early 60s, having a color TV was a big deal, super rare. But by 1970, it was pretty much the new standard in almost every home. That explosion of mass media, it set the stage for, well, everything that came after. Of course, that whole national campfire thing wasn't going to last forever. For the next generation, Gen X, the story of tech was all about personal freedom. It was kind of like this quiet rebellion against the one-size-fits-all media their parents grew up with. The whole model just flipped on its head. We went from this shared, communal, one-to-many broadcast world to something totally different, personal, private, and more on demand. Tech stopped being something you just passively watched. It became something you could finally control. And the perfect symbol for this entire era, the Walkman, no question. It was the ultimate expression of this new freedom. Suddenly, you could be the DJ of your own life, create your own soundtrack, and just shut out the rest of the world. I mean, what a radical idea at the time. And this wasn't just about music, not by a long shot. You had personal computers showing up in bedrooms, the VCR letting you record shows and watch them whenever you wanted, and the explosion of cable TV with dozens of channels. All of it handed this generation a crazy new level of control. They went from being just passive consumers to being active creators and curators of their own media. And then came the millennials. And with them, this massive explosion of personal tech that was all about one thing, constant connection. See, the goal wasn't just to control your media anymore. The new goal was to carry the entire connected world around with you, right there in your pocket. This quote just perfectly sums it up. The biggest trend of the era was something called convergence. Basically, all those separate single-purpose gadgets that everyone used to have, they all started collapsing into one single, super powerful device. Think about how it happened. First, you had MP3 players that just devoured your entire CD collection. Then you had gadgets like the BlackBerry that made email mobile for the first time. Your home PC was your only gateway to the web. The smartphone didn't just appear out of thin air. It just absorbed all of these separate jobs, one by one, until it was the only thing you needed to carry. So, where has all this taken us? Well, now we have Gen Z and the up-and-coming Gen Alpha. And for them, technology isn't just some tool you have to learn how to use. It's more like an extension of their own minds, a sixth sense that feels as natural and intuitive as breathing. For them, there was never a time before all this. Hey, remember when "there's an app for that" was just a clever marketing slogan? It sounds almost quaint now, doesn't it? Because today, it's literally just a statement of fact. The smartphone has evolved so far beyond just a communication device, it's become a universal remote for reality itself. I mean, just think about it. Your phone is so much more than a phone. It's your navigator. It's your personal weatherman that can check air quality. It's your architect with a built-in digital level. It's even your astronomer that can map the stars above you. It's not just giving you information anymore. It's actually augmenting your senses, giving you powers that used to be pure science fiction. So when you trace this whole journey, from that one shared screen in the living room all the way to the supercomputer in every single pocket, you start to see a really clear pattern, don't you? The lines between us and our technology, they're just dissolving.
And really, this is the big takeaway. Tech is no longer just some external tool that we pick up to get a job done. For better or for worse, it's become seamlessly woven into our lives. It's an extension of our own bodies, our own minds. Which leaves us with one last, really crucial question. As technology keeps weaving itself deeper and deeper into the very fabric of our lives, what does it even mean to be human anymore? And what in the world is the next tech revolution going to look like for the generation that comes after this? It's kind of mind-boggling to think about.